Now this is part 2 of our previous video in which we were discussing the Israel-Palestine conflict and the recent escalations. So to be precise, tensions between Israel and Hamas escalated on the 7th of May 2021, and before one could take stock, a fight broke out, the worst since 2014, and it lasted for 11 days and kept the world on its toes. Around approximately 4,300 rockets were fired from Gaza into Israel, and Israel bombarded the Gaza Strip. And finally, the 11 days of non-stop violence finally ended with a ceasefire agreement between Hamas and Israel, which was brokered by Egypt. But this all happened against the backdrop of certain developments. The first trigger was that even before the beginning of the holy month of Ramadan, the Israeli police barricaded the Damascus gate and restricted the entry of Muslim Arabs into the old city of Jerusalem, which was widely protested by the Palestinians. Number 2 is the neighborhood of Sheikh Jarrah. It is a neighborhood in East Jerusalem where many Palestinian families were ordered to vacate their homes. Also, some extremist right-wing Jews had provocating rallies in the neighborhood of East Jerusalem where they carried the slogans "Death to Arabs." When the rallies passed, fights broke out between the Jews and the Arab Muslims, which further heightened the tensions. In the past several years, in East Jerusalem, many Palestinian families had to face evictions. And the third is when the Israeli police raided the Al-Aqsa Mosque. On 7th May, Palestinian people were protesting against these evictions. These protests turned violent, stones were thrown, and the Israeli police tried to control the situation. The police and the protesters crashed and people were injured. Then on 10th May, the Israeli police entered the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Rubber bullets were fired and stun grenades were thrown at the Palestinians there. And after hearing the news of the mosque attack, the Hamas group gave an ultimatum to the Israeli government. Hamas group warned the Israeli government to withdraw Israeli police from the mosque or else they would attack. And after some hours, Hamas started firing rockets at Israel, and Israel retaliated with airstrikes on Gaza. And the airstrikes killed many Palestinians in Gaza. But Israel blames Hamas for escalating the conflict by firing rockets from Gaza at the civilian population of Israel, and the airstrikes on Gaza as a major justified response. So now I'm ending this video here, and in next video we'll discuss the response of the international observers and the world community. And if my video helped you in some way, then please share and like the video. Thank you.